You will never influence the world by trying to be like it. That's something that I always stood by because I knew that I was different from the beginning. My name is Nikki Eason. I am the creator, producer, and director of The Androgynous Model. I decided to create a mini-series so you can understand and know who I am, why I do what I do, what my passion is, what I'm trying to accomplish, and what has happened in between seasons. Season 3 is approaching, but I need you to understand the journey first. I left corporate America in January of 2013. 7 months later, the vision of the androgynous model came to me. 2 months after that, the first episode was released on September 22nd, 2013.
It ain't he, it ain't she, it's we. I am me, the androgynous model.
When the vision first came to me, which is very interesting because I think all of us get visions about what we should do, in life or part of our purpose type thing. So when it came to me, of course, it kind of like woke me up like in the middle of the night, like out of my sleep, like how I wanted it to be, what it's going to look like, who was involved. At that time, when I really looked around and what was going on in the world, there was not a lot of representation of people that looked like me in its entirety. And I didn't understand that. So I was kind of really at a crossroad, knowing that I wasn't really into the corporate, mentality. I always had the entrepreneur type thing or wanted to be like in entertainment, but it was not a lot of representation like that in those industries. And I couldn't understand why I wasn't. I don't get it. It needs to be there so other people can feel like it's possible. I would see Ellen on TV. I would see Prince at the time, a lot of different androgynous people that was already there. But I didn't see people that looked like me. Me, if you know what I mean, right? And I said, companies and brands and industries and organizations, whatever, y'all are missing out. Because there's a lot of people that look like me who are androgynous that are amazing people. But we didn't have that same opportunity just because of how we dressed or how we looked or, our skin color or our sexual preference. And I didn't understand that. Then it started to make me think about kids coming up and what I was going through when I was younger, trying to figure out my place, in the world. And I'm like, companies are missing out. I'm gonna make sure that with this show, I'm kind of giving the voice to the people who want to say something, but they're afraid to because they feel like they won't be heard. I was like, I'm gonna create this show and I'm gonna get people to understand why. Because most times people judge certain things if they don't understand it. So I wanted to be able to educate people, one, what androgyny is, how long it's been around, what it looks like. Because usually if you know what it looks like and what it is, then, you can kind of better understand it and maybe you stop judging and stereotyping people when you know, a little bit more about why they are the way they are. So I definitely want to make sure I told that piece of it, that story of it. And I wanted to accomplish that by allowing, people who are part of the show to tell their story, which is what you guys seen in season 1.
When I was in high school, I was actually sneaking behind my mom's back and dressing like this, and she caught me like 3 months later, and she wasn't for it. So when I moved out and graduated, that's when I was able to embark on it.
Not being open about how they really want to dress or try to dress a certain way just to fit in. And I think that was captured a lot. But another thing I wanted to get people to realize is that automatically when people see androgynous people, it's a very uncomfortable thing. I want to make sure that when it's seen, yes, uncomfortable, but when we start speaking or we're out doing certain things or any type of advocacy, it draws people in because they're going to see someone in that position they've never seen, and it's going to make them more interested in it. But I got to make sure that whatever I'm teaching these contestants, they have the tools because I know the world can get ugly. The world can get to a point where words and things, you know, try to destroy people who are different.
I am so happy.
You're happy?
What? I am extremely happy. Yeah.
Because I'm a little confused. I don't understand why pretty girls such as you would want to, you know, compromise your beauty and dress like this.
I just went to the barber shop yesterday. I was like, I just want something different in my hair.
I'm just kind of wondering what this whole thing is, because I mean, you're very pretty, but you know, with the short hair.
I wanted to continue to put people in situations where they might have been judged or they might have been stereotyped, and it was about how they handled it, because I had to learn very early on that if I wanted to be in the front of something or in representing in a place where it's not a lot of people like me, I got to make sure I can handle certain things when it comes to discrimination, when it comes to funny looks, or sometimes people calling me a sir when I know for a fact I'm a woman, and sometimes they know for a fact that I'm a woman. So I wanted to make sure that I worked on those skills with them and also inspire them to go out and create whatever they wanted to create. No matter how they look, no matter, you know, how they dressed or whatever they chose or who they were. Like, I just wanted to make sure that people had that confidence in themselves to be able to create whatever life that they wanted. And if you want to be a part of something, you can still be a part, even though you don't see people like you in it. So when I think about back in 2013, I'm having all of these stars, and I think myself was struggling with my own, you know, acceptance and being accepted in the world. And I think my pain from that, you know, fueled, of course, the show. But as time went on, it just started getting bigger and the vision started growing even more. And I knew that this was part of my purpose, part of my journey, because I started to see little signs along the way that reminded me, like, oh, by the way, yeah, that's what you should be doing. One thing that I really had to take away from season 1 is that you learn a lot when people, you know, want to become a part of something because of the vision that it is. But when it's really time to get down and dirty with trying to grow it and continue to evolve it into the vision I have for it, it's a lot of work. Like, it takes a lot of work, mentally, physically, emotionally. And you start to see who's really there for the work and who's just really there to be seen. But I knew that my vision was a lot more deeper than what I was doing. You know, I knew that it was supposed to be done on a bigger scale. When it's time, like, to get geared up for season 2, I immediately was like, oh man, I did it in Charlotte, I gotta go to Atlanta. I gotta go bigger, I gotta go to this city. I just was so excited. I knew there was so many people around the world. I gotta go to this city, I gotta go to this city. Didn't really plan in my head as much, because I'm like, I gotta go to ATL, I gotta find, you know, people in ATL, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. I had another city lined up after that. I was like, I'm just gonna go city. I picked a cast in Atlanta. It was actually 7 people, right? Super, super excited about it. And maybe like a week after I picked them, I had to eliminate 1. Just off of not being, not using discretion when it came to social media about personal business that was really none of no one's business. I'm a big person about discretion. I'm a big person about professionalism. And, you know, what's known doesn't have to be shown at all. And it's about representation. So how can I get these other companies to listen to me if I'm going to have certain things like that of misrepresentation on the show? Yeah, no, that's not me. That's not what I believe in, and that's not what I represented. So had to let someone go, right? During the next couple of weeks, I was trying to plan together how I'm going to do this thing in Atlanta. How am I going to pay for this? Because at that time, like, I didn't have a job that was like consistently bringing me income, right? So how am I going to do this thing? I don't know how I'm going to do this.